Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So I saw this on Twitter from Ian Northing, that's at IanBins on Twitter. XRP is emerging as one of the strongest cryptocurrencies. Its foray into the new market of EU with an organized system will improve the allied sectors. And guys, Ripple and NEM, yes, that's right, the cryptocurrency NEM, are partnering up to improve blockchain around the European Union. He linked this article here. As Ripple XRP is emerging as one of the strongest cryptocurrencies, its foray into a new market of EU with an organized system will improve the allied sectors. Exchange app development being integrated with cryptos will definitely hit a hike. Ripple recently collaborated with NEM, the distributed ledger company, to create a new association called Blockchain for Europe. The two companies are aggressive to move ahead in the European market with a vision to unify the blockchain ecosystem in the continent. And so Ripple partnering up with NEM to improve blockchain in the European Union. So this association is formed as a unified platform for all blockchain-based players in the European Union. Ripple and NEM announced that the foundation will safeguard the interest of blockchain and cryptocurrency business. Apart from regulating, the association also promises to promote blockchain and DLT. Per Dan Morgan, Ripple's head of regulatory relations, policymakers in Europe should capture the benefits of both digital assets and blockchain technology. Furthermore, this is the right time to get into business and develop an appropriate regulatory framework. Blockchain for EU is setting the undertone for the same. And so guys, if I were the people at NEM, I would be ecstatic that a company like Ripple would want to partner with NEM in order to create this association, obviously looking to expand the blockchain network in the European Union. So this is great news. Coming from Ian Northing, thanks so much Ian for posting that. I saw this on Twitter as well from Matthew Linney, or Liney, I keep not knowing how to pronounce that, sorry Matt. Ernst & Young Financial Services recognizes Ripple as a major FinTech disruptor. So in their report here, in and amongst several other institutions, Ripple is listed as a cross-border and B2B payments disruptor. You can see there's a pie chart here. He links the entire report in his thread here, so thought that was of interest. I feel like the world is beginning to recognize Ripple as something more than just that cryptocurrency company that's knocking at our doors and that's trying to promote change. I think that was the narrative in 2018 and now 2019 and of course into 2020. I think they are being taken more seriously by a lot of these institutions, and we're seeing it, right? In the news, in the partnerships. Brad Garlinghouse even made a comment to that effect, where banks were saying back in 2018 that, oh, you're that company that does the cryptocurrency thing. Yeah, we're not interested in cryptocurrencies. And then a year later, they've come knocking at the door saying, hey, where do I sign up? So Ernst & Young, a very respectable financial institution, recognizing Ripple as a fintech disruptor. I saw this on Cointelegraph. Tom Lee says, Bakkt is going to improve trust with institutions to crypto in 3 days. And that means Monday, friends. Today is Friday. In 3 days, Bakkt is going to launch. Officially, that is. Bitcoin, BTC, and cryptocurrency will gain trust from the incoming launch of institutional trading platform Bakkt, as well-known analyst has said. So, more praise for Bakkt. In a tweet on September 19th, Fundstrap Global Advisor co-founder Tom Lee joined the increasing number of Bitcoin figures bullish about Bakkt's impact on the space. The platform goes live on September 23rd, this Monday, and will offer physical Bitcoin futures. Investors who have been able to deposit funds since September 6 will take delivery of payout exclusively in BTC. The remaining days to launch have so far been characterized by lackluster progress for Bitcoin markets, which dropped below 10,000 once again. Now recovering, BTC price could nonetheless shift considerably once more in the short term. Lee wrote, I am very positive on Bakkt and its ability to improve trust with institutions to crypto. And you don't think that institutions have already been buying into Bitcoin when it was, at its winter lows of about $3,200 to $3,500. Let me bring Bitcoin up here. And so this is Bitcoin on a daily, guys. We have been vacillating in this price range now for a little while. Bakkt is going to be released. I think Bitcoin is poised for a breakout. We need to break 14,000. Could Bakkt be that catalyst? Well, this holding pattern has been staying quite steady for the last couple of months now, and we haven't really moved any lower than 9,000. That's a strong level of resistance that we're in right now. And so could Bakkt be that catalyst? I think it certainly has the potential to be. Bitcoin is poised to make those new highs And I sincerely believe we are going to see that before the end of 2019. I truly do believe that. Quarter 4 is going to be very, very, very interesting. So keep an eye out for that, guys, on Monday, September 23rd. And then, of course, at crypto_XRP on Twitter, some food for thought for you guys here. We all know of the scalability issues that Bitcoin suffers from, and when it comes to transaction speed. What if Bakkt had an NDA that allows the exchange to use Ripple XRP ledger to speed up Bitcoin's speed? Well, you know, that ain't so far-fetched. On this institutional level, Bitcoin has to really be able to flow at a high rate, at a high pace, because these guys aren't going to tolerate slower transaction speeds. Well, how are we going to do this? Maybe Crypto Dash has a point here. As we all know, the more BTC is transacted, the slower the transaction network becomes. Imagine the conundrum that it will be settling millions, if not billions, of BTC futures daily contracts on its current slow pace network. Will they even use a blockchain for Bakkt, or will they use the old traditional system? Very good question. I know these are Bitcoin futures, but Crypto Dash, thanks so much. This guy's always thinking. And this goes to my point that I've said before in other videos, how Ripple's I'm sure they have NDAs with a lot of these financial institutions around the world, banks. And then once that cryptocurrency regulation comes to pass, I think we are going to see a tsunami of companies put out statements saying, you know, yep, we're using Ripple technology. We're up to date. We've moved into the 21st century. Do business with us. I really do think that that will happen. And meanwhile, the Fed is flooding money into the markets. And yeah, at the same time, the SEC is blindly bashing Bitcoin. This from thebitcoinist.com. So far there has been little indication that US regulators will change their harsh stance towards Bitcoin and the crypto industry. Blinkered by false notions, they continue with their anti-crypto rhetoric, making America one of the most highly regulated countries for crypto startups. As the Fed continues to flood US markets with cash, the SEC remains adamant that Bitcoin needs further regulation. It seems bizarre that the central bank can pump more than the entire crypto market capitalization into the system in order to control lending rates, but they're worried about a few crypto traders and some decentralized assets. Yeah, put this into perspective for a second. The Fed prints, get this guys, the BTC and ETH market cap worth in 3 days. The Federal Reserve is likely to pump another $75 billion into the system today in its 4th day of economy patching measures. A surge in short-term rates this week threatened to disrupt the bond market and the overall lending system, which resulted in these overnight repurchase agreements. Over $200 billion has already been injected into the system, with more likely to follow today. Anthony Pompliano hinted that this could be the beginning of a long fight against an inevitable recession. And so can you imagine that? Trying to regulate Bitcoin, cryptos on the one hand, and yet they are printing the equivalent of the entire Bitcoin and Ethereum market cap in 3 days, pumping that into the market to prop it up. Guys, it just goes to my point. They are in a crisis, and the powers that be are really trying to do everything they can to keep this market propped up until they can't anymore. And I think that part of this is going to have to do with cryptocurrency regulation. Once regulation comes to pass, once Ripple can do business using their XRapid system, and once the financial institutions and banks and whoever else are able to hold cryptocurrency like XRP, I think this will be the sign. And, the ones who are propping up the system right now are going to let go, and we are going to see a major tumbling, a major crash, and as Anthony Pompliano suggests, an inevitable recession. But guys, that's good for us crypto holders, especially if you're holding Bitcoin, XRP in particular. I think that we're going to see a lot of movement if a recession hits. Historically, that has been the case. I also saw this, and this is interesting because it reminded me of Julian Assange. Now, this is Edward Snowden. And get this, guys, his new book comes out, the US tries to ban it, and it instantly becomes a worldwide bestseller. Brilliant. Edward Snowden's new memoir has become the world's best-selling book after the US sued its publisher in a move he said was good for Bitcoin. Let me tell you how it links to Bitcoin. So the US sends Snowden memoir to the moon. In ongoing Twitter updates, Snowden revealed that the permanent record, which hit the market on September 17th, almost immediately became the most popular title worldwide. While not citing the source of the information or exact numbers, the Freedom of the Press Foundation president noted that the current US government lawsuit had only helped sales. Of course, guys, all publicity is good publicity, right? We know this by now. This is from Edward Snowden from his Twitter on September 17th, hours after the United States government filed a lawsuit seeking to punish the publication of my new memoir, Permanent Record. The very book the government does not want you to read just became the #1 best-selling book in the world. It is available wherever fine books are sold. He continues saying, yesterday the government sued the publisher of Permanent Record for, not kidding, printing it without giving the CIA and NSA a chance to erase details of their classified crimes from the manuscript. And today it is the best-selling book in the world. So for you guys who want to read Edward Snowden's memoir, it is available. And so this is how it relates to Bitcoin. The lawsuit, good for the book and good for Bitcoin. Well, a win could see Permanent Record disappear from shelves in the future. So far, its effect has been just the opposite. It is hard to think of a greater stamp of authenticity than the US government filing a lawsuit claiming your book is so truthful that it was literally against the law to write. Snowden says that this will ultimately help cryptocurrency. In conclusion, this is good for Bitcoin, he wrote on Wednesday. While details were again sparse, commentators suggested the threat to Snowden's finances could mean he was turning to Bitcoin as a safe haven. And this totally reminded me of, do you guys remember this? From back in 2017 when Julian Assange says Wikileaks has made him a 50,000% return on Bitcoin. Okay, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden being chased by the US government both for leaking data. This from the Defend Assange campaign, and this was the tweet from 2017. And essentially this Edward Snowden story reminded me of this, and I have to read this to you guys. My deepest thanks to the US government, Senator McCain and Senator Lieberman for pushing Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Amex, Mooney brokers, and everyone else into erecting an illegal banking blockade against WikiLeaks starting in 2010. It caused us to invest in Bitcoin with a 50,000% return. That's right, put all their money into Bitcoin in 2010 because they were essentially blocked by the US government from using the traditional means to exchange money. And it's likely made Julian Assange and WikiLeaks one of the biggest Bitcoin millionaires, if not billionaires, I'm sure it's billionaires with a B, in the world. It is not confirmed, but when you push guys like these, they are obviously smart enough to put their investments somewhere safe, somewhere that won't be affected by, let's say, the Fed flooding the market. That's right, guys, the safe haven that is cryptocurrency hails supreme. I'm curious to see what's going to happen on September 23rd when Bakkt is finally launched. Will we start seeing prices moon? Will we start seeing at least a Bitcoin push, which will inevitably bring alts along with it? Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.